It's such a vast land. I can't wait to jump. I'm on the precipice of the plateau. Waiting for the right moment to strike. There we go. That'll do as an intro. I don't know. Look, I tried coming up with a bunch of stuff to say, and it didn't work. So here it is. It's Breath of the Wild. It's a game that I've played for about 180 hours or so, and honestly, like, I'm not sure how much I like this game. I know parts of it I definitely think are very good, but to be honest, there's aspects that feel a lot like just not the most polished, especially in regards to the shrines and divine beasts. Like, this part of the game, just exploring the world and seeing the ruins of an ancient civilization, or rather, a world where Ganon had basically infected everything. Or rather, the ruins of that apocalypse. I don't know. I think I'm just using a claymore to kill these little gelatin blobs. Don't mind me. Yeah, so, like, I think the game has a lot going for it. But to be honest, like, I don't know if I'd count it as one of my favorite games, or even favorite Zelda game. Like, as far as Zelda games go, I do regard it quite highly. Like, I think it does a really great job of breaking the conventions of Zelda that had kind of been solidified with the 3D games, or even since Link to the Past, really. Like, I think this whole, like, having a whole interconnected world is really the way to go for Zelda games. Like, Skyward Sword felt so limited compared to this. So, it's just really cool to see that the Zelda team had kind of realized that the format they were working with just wasn't producing, like, the best game that they could have been. Yeah, so I just really like that realization. So, yeah, I guess, explain. I'm on the Great Plateau right now. In order to get amiibo functionality to work, I had to beat the first shrine. For me, it was the Magnesis Shrine. And so I'm just going to essentially try to get off the Great Plateau for this whole video. I have a bigger quest, though, and that is to just get the Fierce Deity Sword. Because unlike the armor, you actually do need to beat one Divine Beast for the sword to actually show up in the amiibo chests. So that is my quest. That is my adventure. It's the quest for the twin-bladed sword. And so that is now what I will do. There's a lot of cool nods to old Zelda games in Breath of the Wild, both in terms of, like, names that are used and, like, these actual locations. Like the Temple of Time. And I always like the environmental details with all these rustic guardians. You kind of see the aftermath of Ganon's reign on the world. It's just a really somber atmosphere that Breath of the Wild has. And the game starts off rather ominously. Like, it is pretty quick to get into the gameplay. As far as, like, comparing it to other 3D Zeldas. Especially Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess. But it starts off, like, with you in cryostasis. And it takes a bit to, like, really get going. And I like that they kind of allow you to go your own path. Like, it is a very, very non-linear game where you set the path you want to take. And so, honestly, right now, I don't know where to go. I don't know which shrine I should do. I suppose I should probably try the bomb one, where the bomb rune is at. It's been so long since I played this game initially, which is back in, like, April of 2017. And, like, I like how non-linear the game is. I'm, like, a really big fan of the Metroid series. And just really like that kind of style where you can essentially choose which path you want to take to traverse the world. Oh, I've got pants, so I don't really need that. I'm in no need of your treasure pants. But yes, so the old man suggested I go up and, like, look up from the tower, so maybe I should actually heed his advice. Or go my own path. I'll just willfully ignore him. That's the beauty of this game. So, yeah, I've got a bunch of claymores because that's what you get with the amiibo. Like the Majora's Mask amiibo. They're gonna spin to win. There. It's really nice that there's so much variety in terms of, like, the weapons that you can acquire. And each of them do have, like, different use cases. Like, this claymore is a heavier weapon, and so its swing rate is much slower. And there are other weapons that, like, well, one that I love is just the Bokoblin arm. Because, like, in previous Zelda games, you'd have, like, the skeletal creatures. Not Gibdo. What am I thinking of? Gibdos are the mummies. Stalos? I don't remember exactly what they're... No, I think they are Stalos. They're the skeleton dudes that can just kind of regenerate. You can just sort of take off the Stalos version, or skeletal version of the Bokoblin, and use it as a weapon, which I just find is fantastic. I guess I could, like, mess with these guys, but I'm on a mission. I can't... I can't be distracted. And I like how you can set it so that the only HUD icons are your hearts. It just frees the map up and just the whole screen up incredibly well. I do have, like, I don't know if this is, like, I know, what am I trying to say? I'm basically trying to say that this isn't a perfect game or anything, but I do find a lot of its mechanics work very well together, and I think, oh, maybe I got greedy there, but yeah, I do think it gets a lot of stuff right and is a good direction for the series. Though I do kind of wish that some of the older conventions had made it. Oh, there, that was so close. I'm glad that they do give you like a little boost when you're very close to dying, or close to getting your stamina depleted. What is that over there? A curious fire. Oh yeah, that's bad. Why did I do that? See, I'm so used to using the... Hold on. Okay, so... I do like a lot of the changes that the game made. Like, you can just kind of eat food, you don't need potions. A lot of quality of life stuff that the game does. Especially, like, in this... So, in this early stage, where you can have weapons breaking on you very frequently, it kind of forces you to experiment with and like use items that you might not necessarily be the most comfortable with. So it forces you to experiment. And I do find this part of the game to be one of the more engaging parts. What is this fire? It's a lone fire in a grassy field. And I'm surrounded by darkness. Oh, I can pass time. Okay. I'll just go to morning. It's a nice jingle they got. Hopefully I can actually, like, get through the Great Plateau in about an hour or so. I'm honestly just, like, wandlessly... I'm aimlessly wandering. And just combining words together, because I feel like it. And I honestly don't know what I'm saying anymore. So... perhaps I should engage in combat. Or... I can just kind of... roam around and... look at trees. And... absorb the serene grace of the plains. Oh yeah, I guess I should talk about something, like the game design. Are people even interested in that? I don't know. I watched the game developers conference for this game. It was back in 2017, actually just like before it released. And the game developers were talking about kind of how they came up with the game, or how they got to this point, where they thought, oh yeah, we should go open world for the next Zelda game. It's because, like, a lot of the conventions, like the Zelda formula, where you're very confined to specific items for progression. They kind of called it, like, an additive gameplay. Like essentially each resource they would have to add, like, separately, and it would have very limited use cases. So instead they went for a more robust system for the game, where each of the, or most of the elements have some kind of interaction with each other. For example, like, if you have a piece of wood, then you can set it on fire, and, you know, you can use a log to get past a river. Or you can, like, use it as a platform. I'm also trying to remember a lot of parts of this game. And I'm back where I started. Was it over here? I guess it must have been. Sometimes I forget how big the Great Plateau actually is. But yes, I think it might be there. Like, even though I've played the game for about 180 hours, I still haven't seen all of the things that are in the game. Like, when I first played this, I wanted to be quite quick about the Great Plateau, so I didn't really look around too much. And so now I can actually just sort of venture forth. Even though I do have a mission, and I need to complete it. But sometimes you just need to get shrooms. These are trying times for The Legend of Zelda. And so here we go. It wants me to cook, I just know it. But again, you can willfully ignore most things in the game. You can cut down this tree. And make a platform, a bridge. Excellent. Yeah, I think the... Wait, I forget exactly. It's the stasis room that's up here. I like how they're all themed. Like, the stasis rune is kind of in a mountain with a bunch of rocks. And you mostly use the stasis rune with rocks. There's also this bombable wall here. I think... So, now I guess I'll have to climb. And climbing, I think, is one of the coolest part of the games. Just the fact that you can, like, in concept, climb most surfaces. Though, I do find its execution to be a little bit slow. Even with, like, the climbing gear, it's still just not as great or as quick as I'd like for the mechanic. And I mean, it's like, since it's so prevalent as well, there's other parts of the game where armor sets tend to have certain functions if you have all of their pieces. Like with the Sheikah armor, I'm pretty sure you can run faster. I mean, with the Zora armor, you can also, like, go slightly quicker, swim slightly quicker in water. I hope I've not made a huge mistake. I think I have. Oh boy. This is not gonna be great. Oh, nope. Nope. Well then, the mountain has defeated me. Has my quest come to an end? No. I've got to get that sword. How to get up there? I swear, this must be some kind of, like, Let's Play curse. Where the first time I did this, I did it within an hour. And then, like, so I just made a mad dash to Hyrule Castle the first time I played this game. And I actually got, like, to Ganon's, like, the final room. and as well as like getting the Hylian shield with 3 hearts. It was quite an exhilarating run. I don't know if I'll necessarily do that with this run, because of course you can play the game in many different ways, and no two playthroughs are necessarily the same. So I think parts of these, I think some of them, like some of the mushrooms, do restore your stamina gauge. Like the Stamella shroom. So I'll have to like, or maybe, I think the rush rooms make you quicker. It's nice that like with this part of the game, there are very clear natural platforms that kind of jet out of the mountains, and you can really kind of get to grips with the idea of like climbing and conserving your stamina. I do kind of wish that for other parts of the game that there were platforms like it. But I do understand why they'd want to just limit it to this early stage, so it's more obvious for new players. And now we enter the shrine. So I think the shrines are both one of the best aspects and one of the worst. Like, I like the idea of looking out and searching for all of the shrines, but the actual shrines themselves tend to be rather one note in their design. And it's kind of interesting that, at least for this early stage where you're getting all of these runes, I do find, like, at least these to be a lot better than most shrines, because you're kind of tackling and kind of exploring one singular concept, which is stasis. The entire thing kind of builds upon it, at least slightly. Like, you have this one challenge, and then you have a couple others. Okay, I just gotta wait for the right time to strike. I do like how there are these kind of challenge chests in most of the shrines, because it does add to a lot of them. Like, I know for most of them they have like a singular, like, or rather they have a challenge to just get the orbs, the spirit orbs, but then there's oftentimes a secondary challenge to get a chest. But to be honest, like, I still don't find many of them to be that well designed. Like, I feel like most needed some kind of variation on the runes. And I mean, like, most do use the runes, but perhaps there just needed to be more to it. And, like, the reason that they didn't want to do that is because they wanted to focus on a more robust, like, design, where they didn't need to program in too many elements, but rather have those, like, elements play together. So, I don't know. I don't know if it was necessarily a great compromise, Like, I would have liked to see more singular use items, and like some of the weapons do function like that. Like with the Korok leaf, it does no damage, or virtually no damage, but you can use it to, like, blow wind and kind of like propel yourself if you're on a raft. And in previous Zelda games, like with Wind Waker, the Korok leaf was an actual item, but here it's been relegated to the type of weapon. So I just kind of feel like there was room for other kinds of types of items and tools that are not necessarily weapons. One of my ideas was having a grapple hook. Because I know, I mean, for certain, they did not want to add a hook shot. It just, I guess, did not work with their design. So, I honestly love doing that. It's just such a fun idea. But yeah, I think a grapple hook would really work with the climbing mechanic. Like, you could imagine, like, there is a throwing function where you can actually, like, throw a sword with R. You can throw it like that. I imagine it would work similar to that, where you'd have a rope and kind of throw it and see if it would catch onto any rock formation, and then you could easily be pulled up, and it could still use the stamina system, but perhaps deplete it slower. Okay, I need to get some firewood, a torch. All I have is claymores and a sledgehammer. Great. Do I have a stick, actually? This is my question to myself. Doesn't look like it. I thought I might have, like, picked one up. I guess I could just, like, survive on my food alone. Oh, that doesn't sound like a great idea. Oh. These guys got explosions. My strategy is just spin to win. It's just such a prevalent strategy. Or no, I don't want to. Oh, actually, okay. I guess that works too. Yeah, I do like the chemistry system that they got going on, where you can just, like, actually set your weapons on fire if they're wooden. Because it makes sense. Well, slightly. Of course, they're using an augmented kind of idea of chemistry. Much like game physics aren't actually physics. The game chemistry isn't exactly chemistry. I suppose I should try to get some kind of cold resistant thing. I'm not quite sure how I do that. I think this is the method that I used initially. No, I think the weapon does burn up as well, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I hope I don't die of hypothermia, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Now, this is the cold winter. settles in. And I freeze. Actually, do I have flint? Perchance. No. I see it there, taunting me in the distance. Oh. I honestly forget how quickly you can lose your hearts, since you only have 3. Here we go. A tree branch. No, can't carry any more melee weapons. Okay, I gotta drop. How did I get past this game so quickly last time? I honestly can't remember. It's been too long. But I definitely like most of this game. Like there are very few parts that I think are not well done, and I think like overall this is a really great direction for the Zelda series to go in. I think what I don't really care much for is the story, because they really dialed it down a lot, because they were like working off. Oh no, I guess I need to focus on this, but yeah, they were really focusing on the premise that this is really kind of like a 3D version of the NES Zelda. Like, that was kind of the guiding focus with their prototype. Oh, here we go. Okay, okay. I need fire. I need to light this stick on fire. And also get over there, too. I think there's like a thing where I can use magnesis to bring this over. Oh. Okay. Alright, I guess that'll do. Yeah, okay, I definitely messed that up. Well, how am I to get there? Okay, I need to figure out a way to stop this cold problem. I think, do I have anything? Chill shroom. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I can cook stuff in this game. Or let's see. Nope. Okay, I keep pressing the wrong button. Oh. And I'm conserving my elemental arrows for later, because those are a bit more rare. Oh, right. I guess I can use the spicy peppers, can I? Wait. Eat? I thought... Wait, if I hold them... Right, and then I can like drop them in? Or... Oh wait, no, I think it's on... Gosh, I have to remember how to like play this game right. Okay. And then I can... Well, I want to cook. So, like if I hold this, then I can cook it now. Nice. So now I'm just gonna spend this entire time cooking stuff up. I'm pretty sure this, like, makes a cold resistant thing. Yeah. Let's see, I just need a couple of them. Alright, excellent. Everything's totally going according to plan. Alright. Now I can venture forth. I wonder if I can survive the cold. I don't... Yeah, I need the Cryonis to get past that. Or rather, I needed to use Magnesis correctly. But... Nope. I think... Can I, like, use this as a platform? Oh, it's just on the ground. Okay. I guess that makes a bit more sense, so I can just sort of redo it. Or you can redo it if you mess up. Okay. Perfect. It's like second nature to press, like, X twice. Because the paraglider is so, like, such an integral part of the game. And so, I've just been... Okay. This doesn't seem right. If I, like... No. Okay. This is bad. I swear, I'm just, like... gonna die so quickly in this game. I want to shake this to be a different orientation. Why is this so hard? Fabulous. Okay, I just gotta, like, run and jump. Okay. That wasn't too bad. It might take me a bit longer than I was expecting to get off the Great Plateau, but that's fine. Once I do, I'll probably cut it there. And have the next part be to go and, like, find and do all this stuff to get the Divine Beast. Where is that shrine? It's, like, just up there? It was on my map. I guess I could look at it. But... I gotta have the sense of adventure to wander forth into unknown territory without a clue or care in the world. Oh. What is this? Plus, I'm just curious to see a lot of the parts of this game. Oh, wait. One swing just damages it. Okay. I guess I could use my fire arrows, but I don't really feel like it. Oh, there we go. It's up there. Let's see. I have a lot of thoughts about the game, but it's kind of hard to explain all of them, like, kind of all at once. I suppose I should have made, like, a more edited video where I could kind of narrate things, because it is slightly hard to talk when playing at the same time. At least in my experience it is, so... Here we go. Down into the depths once more. Quagmire that will draw you in, sink into it too deeply. Alright. All good information to know, I guess. Yet, I was not quick enough to read. I probably should, like, prepare better for these. But I just kind of winging it. Like, I'm playing this right now, like, off an Elgato game capture on my computer. And, like, I don't have any way of, like, linking it up to my TV, because I need an extra HDMI cable. So, like, I'm literally playing from my computer. And, like, it's surprising how well it is actually running. Like, I thought that, like, my computer has a hard time running most things. So, it's just kind of astounding to see that it is actually working with this. And doing quite well for itself. Maybe the reason I don't have anything to say is because I just don't think a lot about this game. Maybe I should think about its sequel, because that is going to come out at some point in the near-ish future. Because I think, like, Breath of the Wild 2 would probably... There's a lot of opportunities to fix certain parts of the game. Like, I think the shrines especially are just kind of very monotonous. Oh wait, I should probably have gotten... Or no, I can like jump on these, yeah. That wasn't too bad. The shrines are just very similar feeling. And they're so prevalent that, like, I honestly feel like some of them could have been combined together and the game wouldn't have been that different. Like, I think they could have limited it to maybe, say, like 80 shrines, or cut the number down significantly so that the quality of the overall shrine experience would be better. So I don't know. I hope that if there are shrines in Breath of the Wild 2 or some kind of equivalent, that they'll be more varied and have a lot more of a kind of layered, or like more layered concepts to them. I honestly think it would be kind of cool if in Breath of the Wild 2 they kind of remove the tablet and like remove your ability to use runes, kind of like with most Metroid games where you lose your equipment right at the start of the game. Like, I imagine they could come up with some new concepts that could still like work in their robust framework. I swear, words escape me as to how many words I don't know. I swing wildly. I'm trying to see. I was attempting to spin to win, but I span and I exploded. So if that isn't a cautionary tale or something, I don't know what it is. Okay. Avast, I must now. Why do I keep doing that? I keep making these death-defying jumps because I think I have the paraglider. But no, I have to calm myself. I have to not be so hasty. and literally jump off the edge of the world. Hopefully I should be able to get this under an hour. Like, the bomb trial isn't that long, or hopefully it isn't that far away either. I always like games where you can get a sense of the world that you're in, like, either by having to traverse it very often, or, like, well, I mean, I guess that's the only real way that you can get the sense of the world. Especially, like, in Metroid games. I talk about Metroid too often, and I do want to play a Metroid game on, like, for the channel. The thing is, though, like, I don't have any way to record, say, like, my favorite games are the Metroid Prime games, and, like, Metroid Prime 1 does not really work that well on my computer. So I'd probably need some way to record my television and, like, just get another HDMI cable and figure that all out. Although I think, I mean, I'd probably need to get, like, a different capture card, I think, as well, since the Wii uses component cables. So, because I do own the trilogy version on Wii, and it is very good. They've just got such, like, a tight sense of exploration, and, like, with the Metroid games, they do a really great job of, like, having all these different rooms and connecting them all together. In a sense, like, you can kind of, you feel like you're in a bigger world than you actually are most of the time, because you can kind of imagine the world in your mind and all the connections that, like, all of the rooms that are connected together to create, like, this contiguous map. What am I doing? I'm just saying all kinds of words and not paying attention again to where I need to go, which is there. Oh, I so want to make a death-defying jump, but I need to reel back and remember that I can't, that I will indeed break Link's kneecaps if I do this. Oh boy, do I even dare? Look, I'm crazy. I'm gonna do it. This is if this ends up being a good idea, then I don't know. I'll call this, like, the perfect game. But I think this is essentially suicide. If I like got down, yeah, no, that's death. That's just utter death. Why did I do that? And I just cut a seared steak while I'm on my way down, and break all of my kneecaps and all of my organs. Where do I actually end up after that? I guess it auto-saved. Probably from the shrine. And it gives a little message about falling death. Or fall damage, rather. Okay, I guess I just need to get down from the right path. It was really great, though, just to try that out. Lots of good stuff you can do in this game. Because, like, in previous Zelda games, there are a lot of restrictions with how, like, essentially items were given a lot more importance. And it's almost a kind of, the opposite in Breath of the Wild, where, like, the items are kind of treated very similarly. Even though some do have their own special effects to them. Like, each sword has a durability, and it can usually break fairly easily. So, yeah, it's just like, I think that kind of disposability of the items kind of lessens the value for each one. And I think there is probably a way to still have items that are valuable, say, like, being able to upgrade the durability of weapons, and maybe even have items that can't necessarily be broken, but I like, because I think having the items break so quickly, it definitely does add to, like, the variation in this game, where you can just, like, you can control how you want to play the game, except for that, for that aspect. Because even if you have a certain weapon that you get accustomed to, it won't last very long. And if it's a really good weapon, you're often hesitant to use it. So I just find that to be a quite prevalent thought. Where am I going? I marked it on my map, and now I should probably, like, look at the map or something. Is this... Ah. Okay. Like, it's marked somewhere. I swear, I should pay better attention to things, but the game is just so big, and there's so many things to pay attention to, and I feel like I just went in a complete circle. Like, this is where I was before. So what's it like over here? Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna beat this in an hour. The Great Plateau. I don't even know if this is an interesting thing to listen to either. But, alas, I move on. It's really just a big test for my game capture software. And, I mean, it's not to say that I don't like this game. I do quite enjoy it. Is it, like, over there? Oh, man, like, okay. I don't want to make any more death-defying... Oh. At least that wasn't a death-defying jump. It was just a defying jump. Now I can eat my seared steak as I jump. Link is a very agile in both his physical abilities and just being able to eat. You can combine both. I almost forgot you have a jump button in this game. That's something really big. Because Zelda really did not have any kind of ability to, like, manually jump. There was always an auto jump feature. I swear. It was, like, over there? And now I'm lost in the thick of it. Unsure what direction to go in. I probably should have paid more attention at school. But alas. Now I stand at the edge of this precipice. The precipice of the plateau. Unsure of where I'm gonna go in life. Very existential game, this one. Okay. Alright. And just raid these camps, I guess. Or no, these are bokoblins, right? They're the smaller flavor. Like, I don't find this to be, like, that interesting. Like, it gets kind of boring after a while just trying to raid the moblin camps, because they're all kind of the same enemy type. And you just basically use similar strategies for the most part. Some of them do have variations in, like, having magnesis, like boxes, like steel boxes that you can use magnesis on. But for the most part, they're rather bog standard. Okay. Now, it feels very weird to talk about the game. Like, it's been quite a while since its release. And so, like, I feel like most criticisms of the game have already kind of been given. And I don't know if I have that much new to say about it. I do feel as though a lot of, like, the sections of the games are kind of separated by armor type. Or there's, like, a dedicated armor type for most regions that it's, like, most useful to use. I mean, like, I find that to be a kind of cool thing. Where, like, if you want to really go into the volcano, there's a specific armor type for that. Or, like, with the Rito, there's, like, a cold-resistant armor. And there's the Zora armor, as well as, like, the Val, like, outfit for the Gerudo Desert. It's just kind of a neat concept, but I find that it kind of somewhat clashes with the customizability of everything. Although, at the same time, like, you can use temporary items as well to mimic those effects. So maybe it's not that bad. That's the thing, I always go back and forth. Like, is this a good game? Does it do a lot of great things? Yes. Is it like a perfect game? No. But I think it could, if it had more of a, like, an integrated story. And I say that, but there's a lot of environmental details where there were clearly events that transpired, and you can kind of piece things together just via the environment design. But I don't know. I feel like it, even the cutscenes that there are, they don't necessarily, and the text that's out there that you can find, like, there are some books that you can read, like, in-game. I swear, okay, there it is. Only took me several hours to find, but honestly, I was kind of getting disoriented with just where directions were. But my journey is almost at an end. Like, I think one of the better aspects of this game are, like, the non-linear sequences combining with linear sequences. Because there's parts of the game where, like, you essentially get funneled into a specific area with one distinct entrance. And, like, the game does allow for variation with a lot of its areas where you can just approach things from many different places, but they still converge to the same endpoint. Oh, whoa, okay, there we go. That's not good. Yeah, the game does a really great job of, like, introducing you to the world and all the stuff in it in quite a nice manner, just like by how the world is designed. But now it all ends now with the bomb shrine. I guess I should say, like, examples of what I mean. There's the tower, or not the tower, but the mountain with Nadra, the dragon, where, like, you can approach that from many different angles, but it still converges to the mountaintop and that whole, like, set piece moment. And there's, like, an area where it's surrounded by, like, you're surrounded by rusted guardians that all kind of wake up at the same time. Stuff like that I find to be quite enjoyable, and it's because it, like, combines two aspects together that, like you can still have linear sequences in a very non-linear game. And I think, like, total non-linearity is maybe not the best thing to focus on. And I know, like, that's what the game advertises, is kind of like you can go on your own quest and have your own stories. But oftentimes, like, I find the stories that the game developers craft by hand to be a lot more engaging than just, like, placing objects and enemies in a certain zone and, like, seeing what happens. Like, some of that is good, especially, like, with how they place enemies. They definitely have, like, really good ideas for how to, like, yeah, just utilize enemy placement to create stories. Oh wait, did I use a square bomb in a circular hole? There we go. Yeah, it's not that hard, but, like, the shrine isn't. Right, what was this all about? I think that might be for, like, a secondary treasure. So I'm just gonna willfully ignore it. so I can get past this. Does it now? Okay, I'm just gonna skip all of this because I've seen it a million times. No need to see it a million more. And now that is all of the shrines, so I guess I'll end it once I've gotten the paraglider. So I gotta like make my way to the Temple of Time, and then I'll call it quits. Oh, I just really like that whole animation because you don't expect an old man to come paragliding down. He's a very mystical old man. Yeah, I'm just gonna go. Let's see if I can get my directions right. Okay, it's right there. Good. Oh no. I gotta be mindful of like activating guardians in this area. Good thing there aren't too many though. So I feel like I haven't really said all too much. Oh no, there we. As soon as I say it, one shows up and marks me. I think I had like a better time just talking about other games because they were smaller games and more compact. Like Majora's Mask and Attack of the Rhinox, you can kind of focus on the game a bit more because like I guess because the character takes up most of the screen space, or like relatively. In this game, it really like kind of emphasizes a sense of the bigness, the scale of the world. I climb like the top of the Temple of Time. I also can't remember. I guess I could get a heart or stamina upgrade. I think the old man is in like one of the towers, if I can remember correctly. Yeah, he's right here.
Well done there, young one.
Oh yeah, I forgot there was voice acting
Time has
as
come
well.
to show you who I
That
truly
is
am. I was King Rome
mostly okay. Like I find
I was
the performances
last leader
could have
of
been
my
better, but
a kingdom which
it's like passable. Oh. It's the king. Oh boy.
the great calamity was merciless. It devastated everything in its path, lo, a century ago. It was then that my life was taken away from me. And since that time, here I have remained in spirit form. I did not think it wise to overwhelm you while your memory was still fragile.
I don't know
So rather than
if I really like
I
the
thought it
story
best to
parts
soothe
of the
you
game.
before.
Often, like, I find it, like, I think if they honed in more on the environmental details,
Hear what happened
it might have
100
been
years ago.
better to, like, have more of a mystery,
Calamity Ganon's true form.
but also, like, just fill in more so that there were actually, like, a lot more answers to those mysteries. Because I feel like that isn't really
You see now.
focused too much
Stories of
upon.
were passed from generation to generation.
Did I skip this actually?
Legends and fairy tales.
Yeah, I don't. I already know the story. It's not that interesting.
Princess was my own daughter, my dear Zelda.
Alright, and now he stops talking and just goes back to grunts, which is just fantastic. Yes. Got the paraglider on my first step to getting my sword. Oh yeah, I love this. Destroy Ganon is the main quest. Well, if you say so. But now I can fly off into the distance, into the starry night. And off I go. Into part 2.